Nityanandam, everyone. Let's go ahead with the next part 12 of the Bhagavad Gita Decoded by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness Sri Nityananda Paramashivam. We start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. The hands to the Anjali Mudra. Let's connect with Bhagavan through the Ananda Ganda. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasatisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Dham Namami Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Yes, let's go to page 60 of the Bhagavad Gita Decoded. That's where we stopped last time. All right, let's go ahead here. Can something like this really happen? Can a hero lose his composure and exhibit the physical symptoms of a frightened coward? A true hero to whom death is play, who is trained from childhood by the greatest of masters, not only in the control of his body, his sleep, but of his mind as well. Arjuna's situation shows how the mind can play games with the best of us, how the root patterns can take over the mind in so powerful a manner as to make us powerless without our awareness. Let me see if I can increase the size a little bit. Yes, let's see how that is. Okay, that's fine. All right. Arjuna was frightened that he would be held responsible for the death of his kinsmen, people who were father, grandfather, and other such important figures to him. He was afraid that even if others did not blame him, he would suffer the guilt and regret for his actions for the rest of his life. So great was his fear root pattern of potential guilt that it drove Arjuna into behaving inauthentically, like a coward. All he could foresee was disaster and evil all around him. At another far deeper level, Arjuna was terrified of his own destruction. The moment one starts identifying with Svayanam, kinsmen, family, friends, and relatives, it is a material identification born out of possession arising from one's ego, the feeling of I and mine. Possession is born out of attachment and leads to attachment as well. There can be no feeling of possessing something unless one is attached to it. People speak of attachment, liking, and love. All these are valid only as long as a sense of possession exists. The moment the object of love turns around and displays independence and unwillingness to be possessed, the liking and the love disappears. Possession arises out of our survival need, from our Muladhara chakra, an energy center located at the base of the spine. It is a primal feeling that draws us to Mother Earth out of the need for possession. Feelings of lust, greed, and anger arise. Often, what one cannot possess, one wants to destroy. What I cannot have, let no one have. we often feel out of our incompletion. Possession leads to violence. It is also the deep rooted desire for possessions, the feeling of mine that gives rise to your identity. I need, I, I, identity I. The need, mine, leads to I, not I to mine. The need mine leads to I, not I to mine. This is why you cannot eliminate. Oh, hang on. Sorry. It's not visible here. The need to possess does not stem from your identity. It is the other way around. Mine leads to I, not I to mine. This is why you cannot eliminate your identity till you renounce your attachment to all your desires and possessions. This is why you cannot eliminate your identity till you renounce your attachment to all your desires and possessions. You need to get rid of the mind first. Only then I disappears. Understand, incompletions will make you feel the whole world should be yours. Incompletions will continue to make you feel you can possess the whole world. Incompletions continuously make you exploit others. Arjuna is in this mood and frame of mind. It strikes him at the moment of waging war. That what he is about to destroy are his own possessions, his own identity. If he were to destroy them, he will be destroying a part of his own self, his own mind body system. It is true that when someone dear to us dies, a part of our body mind system dies with them. Arjuna knew that the destruction of so many of his near and dear ones, his kinsmen, would take a massive toll on him, akin to committing suicide. Arjuna's dilemma was an existential one. What is the point of eliminating others if it results in one's own elimination? It is a dilemma born out of partial understanding and incomplete cognition, a peek into the truth of collective consciousness. If Arjuna were to be as unaware as Duryodhana, this doubt would have never entered his mind. Were he enlightened as Krishna was, the answer would have been obvious. Arjuna was in between, hence his dilemma. Why should I destroy myself? What for? These are the questions that naturally follow this line of reasoning. Arjuna was far wiser than many modern philosophers in imposing this as a doubt without venturing into any answers himself. Many philosophers have concluded that there is no meaning to life when they encountered similar doubts. They would not even want to enter their dilemma. They would not want to take any logical arguments arising in them to the logical conclusion, since they did not have the integrity of Arjuna to face the conflicting thoughts arising in them, or the guidance of Krishna. To take them to their logical conclusion. They provided their own answers created out of non-integrated reasoning lacking any experiential backing. Here, Arjuna is undergoing a process of transformation. He is going to rewrite his future. He started off in his war with the basic assumptions of the Kshatriya codes of conduct on which his outer image, Ahamkara, was formed. When challenged, the Kshatriya must fight. That is his code of honor. Arjuna had no self doubt in doing this as he was brought up in this belief system, this default societal pattern. However, the problem was that Arjuna was a thinking man. Unlike Duryodhana or his own brother Bhima, he was not a thoughtless man. This ability to think, to be aware, to be integrated was what had got him into trouble now. When he brought deep integrity into his thinking, doubts assailed him. I'm really doing the right thing. Am I really doing the right thing? Am I not destroying myself and all that I stand for when I wage this war against my own people? He finally landed up in utter confusion. Listen, utter confusion, dilemma is the first thing any person has to face in his life for enlightenment. Listen, utter confusion, dilemma is the first thing any person has to face in his life for enlightenment. If we have not yet faced the dilemma, the possibility for transformation has not yet opened. When we are in dilemma, be very clear, the seeking has started in us. Arjuna has become a seeker of truth. He was no longer satisfied with what he has imbibed all these years, shastras, stotras, sutras. He wished to go beyond. He questioned them as he had doubts. He was in a dilemma. Arjuna Visada Yoga is the name given to his first chapter of Gita. Vishada can mean many things in Sanskrit: grief, sorrow, despondency, despair, depression, powerlessness, dilemma, and such. Here, what we see is the dilemma that Arjuna was in, not knowing whether what he had been taught all his life and what he had believed to be true was really true after all. Understand, sometimes people ask me, Swamiji, after becoming your disciple, I see a lot of struggle inside my mind. I tell them, I'm doing it. It will not let you rest till you become completely authentic. Even one point in authenticity cannot be tolerated. Understand, you have to do the job when you are in the body. You have to achieve it. Whether you feel the urgency or not, if you feel the urge, it is urgent for me. Whether you getting enlightened is urgent for you or not, you getting enlightened is urgent for me. When you look into my eyes, why are you afraid? Because I expose your mamakara, your whole inner image to you. I will expose your inauthenticity to you. I will expose your actual inner image, that which is hidden from you. Arjuna's actual inner image is whole mamakara, what was hidden from him, his root pattern of attachment, his deep fear of expansion, and his inauthenticity are now being exposed by Krishna. The transformation that Krishna leads him to over the 18 chapters is the revelation of truth to Arjuna and to all humanity. Krishna is referred to by many names thus far. The word Krishna itself refers to his dark blue color, the color of the sky. And as infinite as the sky, it also means Sat Chit Ananda, truth consciousness, bliss. Truth, consciousness, and bliss. And who graces liberation to those who surrender to him? He is called Keshava, as he destroyed the demon Keshin. Keshava also refers to his beautiful hair, the embodiment in him of the Trimurti, Holy Trinity of Hindu tradition. The Sanskrit words K referring to Brahma, A to Vishnu, Isha to Shiva. Is another meaning of his name. Govinda is a combination of Go, referring to all living beings, and Vinda, which means knower. Krishna being the ultimate knower of the mind, body, and being of all living creatures. Rigors of incompletions. I foresee only evil omens. O Krishna, I do not see any good coming out of killing one's own kinsmen. Svayanam in this battlefield. I do not covet, my dear Krishna, victory or kingdom or pleasures. 1.32. What use is kingdom, pleasures, or even life, Krishna? 1.33. Those who, for whose sake we seek kingdoms, enjoyment, and happiness, now are arrayed in this battlefield, ready to lose their lives and wealth. 1.3 to 1.34 to 1.35. And 1.35. Even if I am about to be slain by my teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all relatives, I would not like to slay them even to gain control of all three worlds. Why then? Madhushudana, would I wish to kill them for control of this earth? Arjuna now started developing his theme in detail. He started expressing his doubts with clarity. One may ask, how can such doubts be clear? Doubts need to be clear if they are to be resolved. Thoughts need to be integrated if they need to be complete. Listen, a clearly expressed word is fulfillment. The word which constantly keeps you in completion and expands you is integrity. Everything starts with the word. Unclear doubts lead only to more confusion. Thoughts and words lacking integrity lead to incompletions. Unintelligent beings that lack integrity have unclear thoughts. Doubts. Have unclear doubts. Thoughts and words lacking integrity lead to incompletions. Intelligent beings that lack integrity have unclear doubts. Integrated listening to yourself. Arjuna's doubts were precise. Arjuna started listening to himself. Listening to you is the first step to spirituality. Constantly listening to your inner space is the beginning of integrity. Listening brings integrity into our words. We never ever really listen, either to ourselves or to others. When you really start listening to yourself, you will naturally become more aware of the words you give to yourself and others. You will also have the ability to listen to others' words with integrity. Listening is directly connected to your ability to handle reality as it is, without creating your own unconscious ideas and conclusions. When you don't have listening, you always come to a conclusion even before the information is cognized in you. That is why the very first step of Hindu spiritual practice is Shravana, integrated listening. Because Arjuna was listening to himself, he started thinking with integrity. When we bring integrity in our thinking, the first thing is that we will know what is happening inside us. Arjuna has clarity about the doubts arising inside him and is now exposed to his own inauthenticities. How could he seek happiness through destruction of his kinsmen? He asked, how can any good come out of this action? How could he desire power, possessions, and pleasures through such action? And if he did gain those things as a result of killing his family, of what use would such a life be to him? Though Arjuna was in a dilemma, it was a dilemma born out of intelligence, not out of ignorance. Arjuna had been taught all his life to seek power, possessions, and pleasures, and he had done it. Up to this point, he had not come across a single situation where the cost of acquiring these had seemed to be greater than the accruing profit, the resulting enjoyment. Perhaps he had never bothered to evaluate the cost and benefits. For the first time in his life, he has faced a situation that forces him to evaluate his opinions. Do I forge ahead and destroy what is dear to me so that I get more power and possibility, more pleasure? He asks. What a fundamental question, one that each one of us should ask ourselves. Do I forge ahead and destroy what is dear to me so that I get more power and possibly more pleasure? How often do we lack integrity and go behind activities that promise us more material benefits, even though we know that these may in some way damage our life or the life of those we care about? The problem is that life is not so predictable, yet we try to control it as if it is. The bigger problem is what we are deeply conditioned by our root thought patterns, our unconscious space, which ensures that in spite of all precautions, we keep making the same mistakes, living our past memories even in our present. Please listen. The ideas we carry about our old failures, every idea we carry about the past is wrong. Before changing our future by avoiding or replicating our past, we need change. We need change our past. Unless we change our past, we cannot change our future. We will immediately think, how can I change my past? It has already happened. No, the idea we carry about our past is completely wrong. We are not carrying it as it happened. We are carrying the edited version. with all the sound effects, volume effects, and music effects, etc. People usually say, don't bother about the past, change your future. I tell you, don't bother about the future, change your past. Because your future lies in the past, change your past. The hangover you carry about the past is the disease you carry. Unless you complete with the past, your past cannot be transformed. I tell you, not having the hangover with the words you committed with you and with others is integrity. Not having the load of the past negativity is integrity. Positivity means absence of the load of the past negativity. Integrity starts only when we are in a state of completion, when we complete with the root thought pattern. Very few of us stop and bring integrity to our thinking and question the purpose and value of our actions. With few expectations, we are taught how to live and what to do with our lives. First, by our families, and later by society. We do our best to seek fulfillment. Most often, we are taught the wrong, mediocre ideas about life and try to keep up with our personal and professional commitments. And it never occurs to us to ask ourselves, are we truly fulfilled and successful? Never do we doubt, why am I doing what am I doing? What I am doing. Instead, our lives become a constant series of what next, what next. For example, as youngsters, we think as soon as I get out of my parents' house into college, I will be happy. When that is accomplished, our minds immediately rush to the next goal. As soon as I graduate and get a good job or career, I will be happy. Once that is done, it is marriage, home, children, and vacation. On and on it goes until we have all the things that we wanted, but not the completion for which we worked. Invariably, we realize only in our old age that something is wrong in the way we worked, and we don't know why. If we look into our lives, exactly this madness is going on. The why is not kept alive in us consistently. We do not discover the why for what we are doing things. What is the why of my life? Cries Arjuna. What is the why of my life? Cries Arjuna. It takes a lot of courage and authenticity to bring integrity, listening to our thinking, to stop and question our lives, our actions, and society's plan for us. Understand the attitude of asking why needs awareness, but we forget to ask the why. We don't take our thoughts, words, and deeds to the logical conclusion. It takes authenticity, the power of thinking, the inner strength to say to the world, stop. I want to get off. I want to know why am I doing what I am doing. I want to seek true inner bliss. It takes tremendous courage of authenticity to recognize the transitory nature of life and its limited offer of happiness. To say, I want something more. It takes enormous courage to complete with the materialism of the world to seek one's true purpose and life. It takes tremendous courage of authenticity to recognize the transitory nature of life and its limited offer of happiness. To say, I want something more, it takes enormous courage to complete with the materialism of the world to seek one's true purpose in life. I tell you, if just the why is kept alive, why am I feeling powerless? Why am I feeling tired? Why am I feeling sick? Why am I feeling depressed? Just if the why is strong enough to take you to the logical conclusion, our problems will be solved. If we just keep this one question alive, why am I doing what I am doing? And are able to take this one question to the logical conclusion in our life, I tell you, we will be enlightened. You will radiate enriching. What is the purpose of my life, Krishna? Wailed Arjuna. Arjuna is now thinking with integrity and questioning himself, his training, and his purpose when faced with the task of fighting against his kinsman. The scene from his chariot has taken him off balance. In his heart, he knows that what he is about to do is correct. All of his training has, as a Kshatriya, confirms this as well. But when faced with the reality of actually killing those who have been near and dear to him, he loses his will. He is feeling completely powerless. Why? Arjuna is a courageous man. Only a courageous person will have the confidence to open himself up to transparently and expose so transparently and expose his innermost fear patterns, his lack of integrity and inauthenticity, and seek help. Arjuna was not depressed, he was confused. He could certainly differentiate between right and wrong. His sudden confusion grew out of his awareness of his parental and societal patterns, that what he had been taught throughout his life might be wrong. Fortunately, Arjuna, his charioteer, is none other than Krishna himself, Lord of all beings and knower of all. Only he can what is the heart of Arjuna's grief. Only he could provide answers to Arjuna's doubts and completion to this dilemma. Arjuna argues that the reason one would fight to gain power and wealth was the sake of one's near and dear ones. However, his near and dear ones were the people with whom Arjuna should fight. Even if they killed him, he would not consider killing them at any cost. If I would not kill them for all the riches of the three worlds, why should I destroy them for the sake of earth, this one world alone? Arjuna questioned Krishna. When asking, Arjuna calls Krishna as Madhusudana, which means the slayer of the demon Madhu. Arjuna implies that Krishna may be a destroyer, but Arjuna himself would not like to be one like him. Arjuna's dilemma had now become deeper and more complicated. He had now got into justifications as to why he should not kill. He began to justify his lack of integrity and authenticity. To any observer, his dilemma had validity. This is a common, cunning, safe game we all play with ourselves. When the stakes are high in many competitive environment, in any competitive environment, when we don't want to expand to our peak capability, we play this inauthentic game. We fantasize about rewards far greater than what we could possibly materialize. The more unrealistic and unlikely the reward, the easier it is to refuse it. Arjuna is playing this safe, inauthentic game. Understand, when we are authentic, we will commit words which express our maximum peak capacity as per our understanding and as per others' understanding. If our peak capacity, when we unlock the power of thinking, we will be able to spontaneously focus our thoughts to achieve our highest potential. Okay, let's read this rest. Constantly functioning at your peak possibility is authenticity. Authenticity is the key that unlocks the power of thinking, Mano Shakti. Arjuna said he would not kill even if he were to be killed. This is just a spontaneous lie. I tell you, spontaneous lying means you feel powerless. You are inauthentic to yourself. It is Arjuna's own loss of identity that is bothering him, the loss of identity that would result from the destruction of his lineage. Arjuna then says that he would not consider killing his kinsmen and teachers, even if he were offered all the three worlds of planet Earth, be attractive to him. Who was offering Arjuna the three worlds anyway? The notion was a figment of his overexcited imagination born out of his powerlessness. If Krishna turned around and offered Arjuna the control of the universe, Arjuna's dilemma would have actually become far worse. However, posing it as a symbolic question, as Arjuna did, made him look noble. Arjuna is consoling himself with the idea that the rewards of winning this battle are too small, and that even if he were to be offered control of the universe, he would not be tempted. It is a safe position he is taking, since the chances of his being offered the control of the universe are infinitely small. What matters is what it calms his bruised, powerless mind and keeps the focus of the real source of his fear. Time and again, people play this safe game with themselves and others. It starts when we cannot face the truth with integrity and authenticity, and therefore cannot tell the truth. We just give up on ourselves and go out of integrity with our words and become inauthentic with our thinking. For the majority of us, our identity lies in the roles we play, the responsibilities we have, the worrying we do, and the acceptance that we receive from others. Without these possessions and relationships to form the foundation of our personalities without the foundation of mind. We feel lost and have no I like us. Arjuna found it better to invent a host of other inauthentic reasons to avoid facing the truth. We create illusions in our mind about the situations we face, about how critical they are to our existence. Then we create fantasies in our minds about what is going to happen to us, be it an imagined good or difficulty. We do everything except being in integrity and authenticity with our space of positivity and possibility and facing the present moment with completion. As we will see later, facing the present moment with the space of completion, Purnatva, living the four spiritual principles of life: integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching, and awakening the four great inner powers is precisely what Krishna forces Arjuna to do. When Arjuna is able to surrender to Krishna's teachings and brings completion to his root patterns, then his self-doubts and illusions dissolve. Arjuna then realizes the truth, satya, of these sacred tattvas and reaches his highest possibility, living enlightenment, Jiva Mukti. He understands what he needs to do and becomes a spiritual warrior, a pure instrument of Krishna, and goes about powerfully radiating responsibility, enriching himself and the world with divine purpose. The next part we will read next time. Good men do not kill. Thank you so much for listening. Let's end the session with the Purna mantra. Let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line, the hands to the Anjali Mudra. Let's offer our deepest gratitude to beloved Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Let's chant the Purna mantra. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavatri Nityananda Paramashiva Paruka Panamastu. Om Nityanandam. Nityanandam, everyone. Thank you for listening and see you next time. Nityanandam.